And welcome back to Blue Shirts Buzz, where we talk everything New York Rangers. I'm your host, Matt Piscazzi, and today, unfortunately, I am without my wonderful co-host, John Horton. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Thank you all for listening, nonetheless. Definitely check out our socials there at BlueBuzz26 on X or Twitter, whatever we're calling it these days. And yeah, we'll hop right into it today. So, like I had mentioned at the top, unfortunately, I am without Jonathan today. He did have some dental work done, so obviously not feeling the best. I feel like dental work is one of those things where, especially if you've had it done, like a lot of people have, you universally understand like how much it sucks and how painful it is. So like as soon as you tell somebody like, oh, I had oral surgery, or like, oh, I was at the dentist for a couple hours the other day, it's like an immediately like, oh, that's tough, like feel better kind of thing. So he's doing good. I was just talking to him a little bit, just not feeling 100%. So hop on here, get a little solo shot for you guys. Of course, Rangerstown, not a ton of exciting, fun things to talk about. That's kind of been the story this year, but you guys know I don't like to doom and gloom it here. I will say, after the Ducks game recently, I was a lot of doom and gloom. Changed my tune a little bit, but of course, I'll hop into all that this episode here. So, before we get into that, this is usually John's spot. I like when he does his little standings rundown, but I will have to hop in for the man today. So, we are still in the mix here. Rangers are currently, well, I'm not even going to talk about how far down we are in the Metro, but we are third in the wild card race, tied on points with the Canadians. They do have the tiebreaker on us. They also have a game in hand on us. So that's the really unfortunate position that we're in right now. We are a little bit reliant on the teams around us. So the Canadians, again, we're tied at 79 points. Blue Jackets are below us at 77 points, but they have 2 games in hand on us. So, we could win out. They could win out, and we lose a spot simply because they had 2 more games. You know what I mean? That's kind of the hole we've dug. We really need to do a good job on these last 7 games here. But the schedule's tough, which I'll get into as well. There's a lot here to try and cover for you guys. Again, some bad stuff, some good stuff, but I wish it were more exciting. I'll put it that way. This team has just been a little bit of a dumpster fire this year. No surprise for our listeners. And then you go 2 points below them are the Red Wings sitting at 75 points. So that's kind of where we're that big cluster of teams I'm worried about at this point. The Isles are 74 games played, 74 points. I mean, a 5-point deficit, it's doable, but we do have a game against them next week. So, if we crush them in that game, it's pretty much wraps for them. They don't look overly convincing at this point either. And a while ago, it looked kind of like the Devils might have been slipping a little bit and giving us a chance to maybe even take up some ground on them, but they are kind of holding firm at that 3 spot in the Metro, 87 points and 6 games left. Doesn't really look like they're going to slip there. We wouldn't even be able to catch up to that 8-point difference at this point anyway. So it is down to the wild card. It's really, that's all there is to it. With that being said, again, the Senators are also 5 points ahead of us in that top wild card spot in the East at 84 points. Doesn't look like we're going to catch up to that either. So it really, at this point, looks like we are fighting just for that last wild card spot in the East, which is not going to be easy to get. Again, we could literally win out and still lose that spot simply because the teams around us have more games to play. We have dug this grave. We have put ourselves in this position time and time again. We've had opportunities to pull ourselves out of the grave, out of the dirt, do what we need to do, secure the points when we need to, and we simply haven't. I mean, that's been the story of this team all year. They have not been clutch for the most part. Obviously, there moments here and there. I don't want to take moments away from this team, good moments, clutch moments, big wins, things like that. But for the large majority of this season, we haven't been clutch when we've needed to. We haven't really made the big plays in the spots that we need to, and we haven't come up with the big wins when we need them. And those are 3 things, if you want to be a successful hockey team, you kind of need to nail those things on the head, especially as you get towards the end of the year and into the playoffs. The playoffs is all clutch situations. It's win or go home. And if we're already looking like this during the regular season, what does that say about the playoffs? That doesn't really put a good taste in your mouth, even if we do make the playoffs, which again is going to be a challenge at this point. I stand firm in my positivity and my belief in this team. I love this team, and I still think we have a shot. I did say it quite a while ago. I said I think this team is going to barely eke into the playoffs, and we still have an opportunity to do that. The Canadians have gone through some up and down, situations here throughout the year. It's not outside of the realm of possibility that we are able to surpass them and hold firm above the Blue Jackets and keep that spot. So I'm going to stay hopeful and believe in the guys. But getting into the games we played recently, making it really hard for me to believe in them, to say the very least. I did get to watch quite a bit of the 5-4 overtime loss to the Ducks, and that was absolutely soul crushing for me. I got most of what I got to watch was the third period and overtime, and to see us literally give up a 3-1 lead to one of the worst teams in hockey, and oh by the way, lose the game 5-4. I mean, that stat alone, we gave up 3 goals in the third period. Who does that? Not only did like how, why, where's the effort, where's the energy, where's the focus, where's the motivation? The guys were like, oh, we're winning, cool, pack it in, go home. No, thank God Mika scored on the power play, which by the way, the power play in this game was absolutely atrocious. I mean, I just got to pull up the opportunity. We had so many opportunities, it's not even funny, and they literally just threw them away. I mean, let's see. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that one was wiped out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, dude, in the third period alone, 5 opportunities. I mean, how? How? And a couple of those 5-on-4s opportunities as well. Or excuse me, 5-on-3s. How do you have 5 power plays in the third? You score 1 power play goal. And that's after, like, I can't even. I can't even with how bad this power play has been. At this point, they're kind of just throwing spam at a wall and hoping it sticks. We'd move some pieces around in the power play. I do like that we are getting the second power play unit some time. It's nice to see some guys like Laugh get some power play minutes. I know also with like throwing Miller in the mix, and then now that Kreider's back, like they really kind of played around with the power play units a little bit. And Gabe Perreault being on the ice, getting power play time last night was also really really cool to see him get some really good minutes in the win over the Wild, which I'll get into as well. But yeah, just that game as a whole really just put a sour taste in my mouth. I actually texted John right after it and said, this game is basically the game that kind of did it for me. I really, you guys know I like to try and stay positive and believe and hope and believe in these guys here, but that game really, really tested me. I'll say, getting away from that game and destroying the Sharks, it gave me a little bit of a nice, oh, this is cool. We got to win. My guys are firing, right? But it's the Sharks. We're talking about beating up on, again, one of the worst teams in hockey. So to go from completely choking and throwing the game against the Ducks to smashing one of the worst teams in hockey, okay. I mean, we get the points. At least we got an overtime point from the Ducks. But there's the guys in this team, the way they're playing, the things they're doing, it's like it's hard to even get excited when we do end up getting the results, because again, these are the results we should be getting. It par for the, like, literally point in case that needed to be a win against the Ducks. That is 2 easy points we had in the bag. 2-goal lead going into the third. You give up 3 goals in the third. Good thing we could score that power play goal again, which we thought was going to be a garbage time goal. No, we freaking needed it, because that's the goal that got us into overtime. That's literally the goal that kept us from losing that game at the end of the third when they scored with, what, a minute left or whatever it was. I mean, it's unreal. It's absolutely unreal just to watch these guys just pack it in and try and take it home. And the young, credit to the Ducks, young, hungry team, not really going to do much with it, at least this year. Again, they're not really in a spot to do much, but they fought really hard, and they were gassed up. They were juiced up, man. They were fighting. They were skating hard. They were getting in the net. They were making plays when they needed to, and we were not. We basically gave up. And then towards the end, obviously, I think we tried to pick it up a little bit, but it was too little, too late, and ended up losing the game in overtime. Just absolutely ridiculous. That game really, really put a sour taste in my mouth. Again, then you get to the Sharks game, 6-1 win. I mean, it was nice to see the guys flying around the ice. A lot of really good plays from a lot of different guys out there. Quick had a great game, but even at that, we relied on him a little bit too much at some points. Not that the Sharks were creating a ton of offense, but wouldn't be a Rangers win without relying on our goalie making 1 or 2 highlight reel saves, right? I mean, that's kind of been the story of how this franchise functions ever since Lundqvist. So something that's I guess not really going to change at this point. And then you do get to the 5-4 overtime win against the Wild, which, great win. The Wild are a good team. To kind of, I want to say, eke out a win. Finally get a good win like that. But even with this, it's just too many defensive lapses in our zone, a lot of turnovers in our zone, and that's what's leading to these goals. It's puck watching. It's trying to make a stupid play in the zone. It's, hey, there's a guy right in front of me. I'm just going to try and chip it through him. What are you doing? You think the puck's going to go through the guy? Like, no, make the smart play, make the easy play. Like, even if you have to ice it, it's just they're trying to do too much at certain times to like make up for the fact that we're like sucking and in the hole that we're in. It's like some of these guys try and play hero ball at some points, but that's not the way to do it. If everybody on this team just tries to start playing hero ball, it's going to be an absolute shit show. Pardon my French. We have to play sound fundamental hockey. Make the plays when they're there and available. Stop trying to force the play. That's the huge issue with this team is constantly trying to force the play. And at that, they like to try and force fancy plays. They like to try and force the extra pass at that, like that extra little pass to get the goalie, or that east to west at the end of the play. And it's like, no, you got a 1-on-1, take the shot. You have a 2-on-1. If the pass is there, it's there. If they cut off the pass, take the shot, drive to the net, hit the blue paint. I mean, make the simple plays. Stop trying to force plays. And when we try and force plays, we turn over the puck. We end up giving up rush offense to the other team. We give up way too many odd man opportunities, and it comes back to bite us. And honestly, we're kind of lucky that we ended up winning this game. We did fight pretty hard. I got to say, there definitely was some fight, some effort, some drive in the guys. They definitely looked fired up. I mean, 39 shots on goal, big face-off win margin. Performed when we needed to, and we played the Wild really well all year. Game 1 we beat them in overtime 3-2. And then here we again beat them in overtime 5-4. So we did what we needed to do when we needed to do it. Got clutch saves when we needed them, clutch plays when we needed them. This is more of what we need to see from this team. Obviously not happy with the defensive lapses that we made in this game. This game did not have to be this close. We did not have to give the Wild that much life, but we did. That's our story this year, right? So just before I roll into a little bit more talk about here, some of the fun stuff, Gabe Perreault coming up here. We're still in the playoff race here. Do want to get a lovely spot in here from our wonderful sponsors, DraftKings. This NHL season has been as predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going, but that just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out. Hopefully we figure it out. And games left for you to get into action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Although I don't know if you want to pick the Rangers. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And that's the best part. If you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Call to action here. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code THPN. That's code THPN. Again, for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Yes, thank you to DraftKings. Thank you to the Hockey Podcast Network. We love our partners here. Love to be sponsored here and be able to get out here and create some content for you guys. But I want to get into some more fun stuff here. I try and be the fun, happy, kind of hopeful guy here. This team makes it difficult. But Gabe Perreault here is a fun story. Gabe Perreault is obviously our draft pick from last year. Guy lit it up in college. I mean, put up just incredible numbers. Him at BC, him and Ryan Leonard, just really, really good stuff. Very impressive. Looks like an NHL ready talent. I mean, the skill is there. The skating you could always work on coming out of college, but the skating looked pretty good as well. A lot of things said about his size, but he actually beefed up quite a bit, and he did not look small out there. I could tell you, I was able to catch some of the Wild game, not as much as I would have liked to. I did working overnight that night, but from what I saw and from what I'm reading, it's pretty good stuff. It's pretty positive stuff. Panarin even had a quote kind of alluding to this, but also taking a shot at the coaches a little bit. And to kind of sum up his quote, he said, these guys coming into the league have a lot of skill. As we're getting in successive years here and sports are advancing, we're seeing guys come up here with a lot more skill. Young players tend to be more skillful and ready sooner than they might have been years ago. But they need the playing time. That was kind of how he ended his message there. It doesn't matter how good they are. If they don't play, you need to give them the playing time. And that's something that we've seen in this organization in particular, halt the development of some of our key young guys. So with that being said, Gabe Perreault did get 13 minutes and 38 seconds last night against the Wild. which I'm very happy with. We need him to get consistent minutes like that, even more. Give him a couple more minutes. We saw him get minutes on the power play as well. We saw him get minutes with some skilled guys. He was out there with Laugh and Miller, I believe. And actually, he could have had a point there if Laugh didn't just totally slip up at the last second there. But I got to say, he looked lively, skated pretty well. There was no lack of effort from the kid. I mean, he was flying around the ice. He was trying to make a play every single time he had the puck. The skill is there. You see him make some really good passes. The hockey IQ is very high in this kid. I mean, you watch him for like 2-3 minutes, a couple shifts, and you can see he has incredible vision of the guys around him. He kind of knows where his teammates are. And so I'm happy that he's playing with skill guys. This is something I said to John when we were kind of texting back and forth about this. He needs to be in a position where the players around him are going to understand the game he's trying to play. Coming out of college, playing in college, you can put up a lot of points like that because if you have that hockey IQ, you have that kind of NHL ready skill set. You could trick some of the defenders, especially playing with Ryan Leonard. Like him and some of his guys are going to have some really good chemistry. They're going to be able to make those high level plays, right? When you get to the NHL, defenders are not only going to pick up on some of those plays, but they're going to stop those plays. They're going to break up those plays. So you need offensive players around you that are also skilled and talented and are thinking in a similar way that you are. They're thinking that when you're driving to the net and you're going to take that defender kind of with you, you can drop that pass behind you and he's right there to pick it up. It's not always about chemistry. Think about it. He's coming up on this team. He has no chemistry with any of these guys, right? But yet he can still make those plays, and those players are still there to pick up the puck. He's still there to get that puck to the person when he needs to get it to them in down low or with the drop pass behind him, or a backhander here to kind of catch the defense slipping. He's able to make those plays when you put the right guys around him. And I do have to say, for as up and down and kind of as sad as Laugh has been this year, he is a talented hockey player. He does have good hockey IQ. The skill is there. JT Miller is obviously a very, very skilled player. And so pairing him up with guys like that is a very good move. I'm happy with that because the last thing I want to see is this guy come up here and get stuck in the bottom six. He has absolutely no business playing on the fourth line or the third line right now. There's no reason to bring him up, burn a year of his ELC to play him, 10 minutes a night on the bottom six with guys who are not going to be able to match that play style. You need to have him around guys who understand the game he's trying to play. And so putting him with those skill guys, I also hope that we see him get some minutes with some of our other top guys as well, getting him those power play minutes as well. All some pretty promising stuff. And he did look pretty good. I just say he did, unfortunately, one of the goals, I believe it was the goal by Faber, did go in off his stick. A little unfortunate. But I do appreciate the play he was trying to make. Yet again, we were slipping in the defensive zone. We have four guys in the right corner. Four of our defenders, all within, 10, 15 feet of each other, all on the right side of the ice. So, of course, there's a guy open in the slot. And, of course, there's a defenseman streaking in from the far left. What I like is that Perreault tried to cover the slot. When that puck came out of the right side, it goes right to the slot. Perreault was right there, stick on hands, trying to block the shot. That's where you need to be. The problem is because the rest of our defenders had all sold out in the right corner, as soon as the guy gets the puck there in the slot, he can hit it to the D-man streaking in from the left side, and he's wide open. So, of course, Perreault gets out there, try and make a play. Unfortunately, the puck did go right off his stick and go 5-hole on Igor. Not a lot you can do in a situation like that. You just try and get your stick out there to block the shot because, honestly, he's trying to make a Hail Mary play at that point. He was there in the slot where he needed to be in accordance to where he needed to be with where all of our other defenders were, all in the far right corner. So I like the thought there that it's good he's trying to cover the important zones, cover the spot, the high danger spot, the opportunities there for the Wild, where if he weren't in the slot, like if he had tried to kind of bump out to that guy coming down from the left side, that guy's wide open in the slot. That's probably going in anyway. But that has a lot higher of a chance of going in than that guy getting the puck, then making a pass to another player, then that player taking a shot when he has an opportunity to get out there and get in the lane. So, again, that IQ is there. Being a rookie, I think the defensive side of things is kind of where we're probably going to see him falter, if I do have to guess. He's not really known for defensive hockey, but we're not bringing him up here to play defensive hockey. And that's, again, a really important part of why he needs to play top six, play with top six players, not be stuck in that bottom six role. That hasn't done anything for our young players recently. So I hope that we don't fall into that trap. That really needs to do a good job of managing his ice time and getting him opportunities here. Otherwise makes no point to bring him up for 8 games and burn a year on his entry level contract. So, so far from that one game, that very small sample size, happy with what we've seen from him, happy with how the team has used him. happy with the minutes, happy with the power play opportunity as well. So you just hope that that is a trend that continues in the last 7 games here. Otherwise, again, it makes absolutely no sense. And why would you even bring him up here just to waste his potential and waste a year on his contract, But really happy with that. And I just hope that we see some more good stuff from him. He's got a really good opportunity here to get some valuable minutes. And hey, listen, if we do get into the playoffs, really good spot for him to be an impact player and make some big plays. I mean, it's exactly what Kreides did for us when he came in from Boston College. So it might be a little bit of a similar situation. Obviously, much different players, years and years apart. Size is the huge big difference there. Kreides a big guy, Gabe is not. But again, it'd just be cool to kind of have that story again. But Rangers got to do what they got to do to make the playoffs before we get there. So don't want to get ahead of myself here. With that being said, just a look ahead at some of our games coming up here before I do hop out of here. We have this Thursday. I'm recording usually the day we do tend to record. Try and get into the week episode for you guys. So this weekend we do have the Devils Saturday afternoon, little ESPN hockey Saturday. Monday night we are home. Sorry, I thought we were away. Home against the Lightning. Wednesday we are home against the Flyers. And then Thursday night, we will probably have an episode for you guys. We'll probably record before that Islanders game. But nonetheless, we do have a pretty important game on Long Island against the Islanders a week from today. So, some tough games in there. And that's just the 4. The 3 after that are really take the cake. We end the season in Carolina, in Florida, and again at home against the Lightning. Yeah, doesn't look great when you look at that, right? I mean, the Panthers bossed us in the playoffs. We did virtually nothing against them. They absolutely owned us at 5v5. Different team, injuries, things like that. I don't want to say it's going to go that way, but for that to be one of our last 2 games of the year, we're probably going to need to win to even have a shot at the playoffs. That's tough. We're playing the Lightning twice in the last 7, one of the best teams in hockey for the last 5-10 years. Do a game at Carolina, a team that we always play tough, but a team that is tough to play against and typically bosses us at 5v5. The Flyers, I'm really not overly worried about, but again, this team are our choke artists here. It should be a game that we win. The Flyers are a little bit of disarray here, getting rid of Torts, the drama with him and York and everything like that. So that's a good spot. Hopefully we get a win there. Again, that Islanders game is always tough. The rivalry game is hard to call, hard to predict. We have played them well this year. We've gotten the edge over them this year. So hopefully we continue that trend. They are also, again, down in the standings. It doesn't really look like they're going to be able to make it up to the wild card. So that game could not only be the game to put us in a better spot, but also put them to bed, which would be pretty cool. I'd like that as a fan of the Rangers here and as a fan of hating the Islanders. And then the only other game we do have here is the Saturday game against the Devils, which is definitely going to be a tough game. That's another one of those rivalry games. I'd love to see us come out hard, fast, and really put in some good effort there. But when has our team done that consistently throughout the year this year? They really haven't. So don't really know that we're going to get that, especially on a Saturday. These guys are probably saucing it Friday night. Oh, the season's over. Who cares? Whatever. We'll just show up and play. I mean, that's the attitude. That's how this locker room kind of seems. It seems like a lot of guys are kind of checked out and dejected and then very easily deflated. This is nothing new. We've had all these conversations throughout the year, but listen, this is go time. The guys on this team that want to make it, the guys that want to compete, the guys that want to fight, the guys that care, the guys that are motivated, well, it's time for them to show up. And some of these other guys that are in the background that are just kind of on the bus, just passengers, we need drivers. We don't need passengers. So if you're just going to be a passenger, well then show us you're a passenger, and then we're thinking about moving along from you in the off season if we can, because we have way too many passengers on this team. We don't have enough drivers. We don't have enough guys trying to force the play. We don't have enough guys making energetic plays, motivated plays, fighting hard for the puck. You see it here and there in spurts, and then we get scored on, and everybody's hanging their head, and you got 2 guys that care. It's really, really disheartening. And again, I believe in this team, but they make it very hard to believe in them. And so I just hope that some of the drivers, some of the forces in the locker room can get on these guys, get these guys motivated. And I hope that some of our guys that have been having trouble, being consistently motivated and getting out there, I hope that this is a spot where they can just look at the standings, look at the games left, and say to themselves, like, man, I want to fight. I want to win. I mean, I don't play on this team, and I'm a pretty competitive guy. I feel that if I were on this team, I'd want to like throw my head through a wall. I'd want to, I'd be so juiced up. being in a fight there to make the playoffs, given everything that's happened to this team, the moves that this team has made, the position they're in to still be able to make the playoffs. I mean, how is every single person on this team not absolutely gassed up every single time they touch the ice? It's mind-boggling to me. And I think it points some fingers and some signs onto what's been going on in the locker room and kind of also organizationally, again, with some of the jury stuff and some of the morale around this team hasn't been great this year. It's probably affecting some of that. But nonetheless, I think we got a good one here for you guys. Apologies that it is just me. I hope you didn't mind me rambling here for 20, 25 minutes or so. I missed my guy, John. Again, he's feeling okay. He's just not 100%. The dental stuff is nasty, man. I had some work done myself recently, so I know exactly what it feels like. Just, hoping he's feeling better soon, and he will definitely be around next week. We'll get a good one for you guys. Hopefully we have some good wins to talk about. Hopefully we have some good standings to talk about. Hopefully we're still even in the race. I mean, a week from now, we could basically play ourselves out of the playoff race. It really, the guys need to show up. This is crunch time. So we'll see, we'll see. Hopefully you guys enjoy the remaining games here. Hopefully we have some good stuff to talk about next week. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed me kind of rambling here. Again, John will be back next week. We'll chopping it up, getting back to the usual here. You guys probably noticed, I don't know if you did, I am not doing a first time scores prediction here without John. It would just be sad. He is also still beating me in that category. So he's probably happy that he's getting another 3 or 4 games that I don't get a chance to catch up. A little upset about that one, and we'll have to figure out what I'm going to owe this guy when he eventually wins this, unless I miraculously get it somehow in the last 2 or 3 games. But yeah, so he's still winning that race 4-2. Again, I'm not going to be predicting any games without him, but we'll get back to that next week as well. So yeah, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for all the love and support. Thank you guys for believing in this team, following this team as well. As fans here, it can be tough to kind of keep up with the teams, especially when they're not great. So I appreciate the guys and gals and listeners here that are not only following us and want to hear what we have to say, but still believe in this team, whether that's positive, negative, doom and gloom, happy, hopeful. The real fans, the people that really believe in their teams and in their players, they stick around through thick and thin. And so obviously some of our listeners here appreciate that type of fandom, because that's what we bring to the table, and that's what we hope that you guys enjoy to hear from us and take part of that experience with us as well. So yeah, thank you all very, very much, and we will catch you guys on the next one.